cue now is to try and get off the floor. So when you hit the floor, imagine hot coals just getting off the floor. Great job. Perfect on the treadmill. 15 seconds left, making this look easy.
I'm an easy strider.
Yep.
She's an easy strider.
Easy strider, yeah. It's more important as you get faster or run for further, how does that profile change? You've got to minimise overstride.
Yeah, okay.
That's not to say you can't run like that, you can. The mechanical consequences, it's attrition.
Yeah.
You're creating energy, right?
That's a big word.
You're creating energy.
You're going to pay. Hello and welcome to I Can Run a Marathon with me, Emma B. It is episode 8 and today we are not, as you can see, in the studio. We have come to one of the most exciting places in the UK for runners and athletes, and we are at PB Biomechanics in Oxfordshire with the fabulous Dr Paul Brice, who has worked with elite athletes and recreational runners all around the world. And today we are going to be digging deeper into the story of my running. If you are listening on Spotify, please can I urge you to go to YouTube because you will miss out on all the funky graphics, okay? This is very visual. So if I can urge you to go to YouTube, Virgin Radio YouTube channel, and hit subscribe, you'll be doing us all a big favour. All right, are we ready to go? Here he is. This is Dr. Paul Brice. Hello.
Hello.
I'm already looking around at this place and seeing various bits of memorabilia from 2012 and the Olympics. Tell us how you got here and what do you do here?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool facility. It's called the Bosworth Clinic and it's based in Cassington near Oxford. And I think it's sort of developed from 2012. The actual owner and founder is a guy called Gordon Bosworth. He was the lead physiotherapist going into London 2012 Olympics.
Wow.
Olympics, yeah. And then afterwards he set up this business and the clinic has sort of evolved over time. My part here is I've got a separate room on the side of the clinic, which is my PB Biomechanics running lab.
Yep.
And I've had that for maybe 2 years.
So this is a biomechanics running laboratory?
Running laboratory, yeah, absolutely.
Will you be wearing a white coat and some goggles?
I don't typically like to wear a white coat.
Are there Bunsen burners in there?
You can bring Bunsen burners if you want.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, though, we'll be doing some running, won't we?
We absolutely will be doing some running. So there's two main parts of the assessment that I tend to do. The first part is onto some instrumented force plates.
Okay.
And the idea there is we get an understanding of your underpinning physical qualities. So how you apply force on different vertical jump tasks.
Wow.
It will tell me, are you balanced left and right? Do you spend more time on one leg than the other? So it gives me a signature of how you apply force.
Okay.
So that's the underpinning physical qualities. And then we go onto the treadmill and we get you to run at 2 or 3 different speeds. And the system has got high-speed cameras, which are all synchronized, which is all the way around the treadmill.
Okay.
So side view, rear view, front view. And then the idea is we've also got another system called motion metrics, which gives me real-time information on biomechanical profile of how you run. And I think that's the beauty, is we're trying to get the story of how you run.
Yes.
And work out which bits are good, and everyone's got good stuff. Where are the gaps? And then how do we nudge you in the right direction to make good decisions around training, to make sure the gaps. And fundamentally, I want people to, number one, enjoy running, but number 2 is to be efficient, or as efficient as they possibly can be.
So we can run better for longer, and for marathon trainers, why is that important?
For marathon people, it's an ability to sustain repeat efforts onto the floor in terms of running. So that's the key bit. So it's not necessarily about running as fast as you can. It's about being as mechanically as efficient as you can at your speed to make sure you've got energy required to run the distance that you're trying to do.
So by the end of this, I should be able to give Ailish McColgan a ring and go, do you fancy going for a jog?
Yeah, I'd say, like, I've done it for a few years. I'd say, yeah, that might be a slight challenge.
Do you think it's a bit ambitious?
Possibly. Ailish is quite good. But I do believe it does bring me to a good point. I do believe that everyone has the capability of being better, right? I don't think everyone has got the capability of being Olympic champions. That's not proper. But I do think people can be better. And I think my role here is to try and provide insight and information that allows people to make good decisions in training. So the more objective we can be about that, and we can understand what it is you do really well, then we can make corrections and technical alterations to make you as efficient as you can be.
And I think it's almost, it feels to me as well as useful to recreational rookie runners as to elite athletes, because if you're just doing this recreationally, like I am, and you're new to it, we're the people that get injured, because you're doing things badly or you're doing things too much or you're overloading and all of those things. So actually to make sure that we can enjoy our running for longer, this is super helpful.
Yeah, and I think that's been the aspiration of my business, PB Biomechanics, is to take all the technology and the information, the insight that goes on at the elite end of the sport and to try and bring it down to the recreational end, right? And that's not to say you're watering it down, you're just making it more available. And so then that information, you know, from your sort of initial sort of consultations and around running, there's a lot of stuff out there, right? There's a lot of opinions.
Yes.
There's lots of myths and misconceptions, and some of it is absolute nonsense, and some of it is probably true. And I think it's trying to make sure you make good decisions around the bits that are true and the bits that maybe aren't true.
Okay, so what are we going to do today then?
First of all, we'll get you on the bike, little warm up, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to get you to do some vertical jump tasks. So the first one we're going to get you to do is the thing called a counter movement jump.
Yeah.
So that is basically what we call a slow stretch, shorten cycle. So hands on hips, going down and jumping up, trying to be maximal. We'll do that double leg to begin with to look at what the symmetry is between left and right. So even though it's a double-legged activity, you might be preferencing one side.
And you'll expect, would you expect with most people there to be a preference on one side?
Yeah, 100%. People aren't robots, right?
Yeah.
If you're a robot, you'd be 50-50, you'd apply the same force, same time frames, but that isn't the case, right? So everyone's got some differences.
Okay.
We've just got to work out what the differences are and how meaningful they are. And I think that's the key bit for me, is making sure you make sensible decisions. Just because there's a difference doesn't mean it's a problem.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's going to cause you an injury.
Okay.
I've had athletes come through here, recreational athletes who have had 60%, 40% ratios between left and right, and I've had no issues at all.
Okay.
I've had athletes come in at 51 and 49 and have had nothing but problems. So one size does not fit all, right? But you need to understand what is your signature. What do you do?
All right, so we're going to do some jumping, and then we're going to go upstairs and you're going to get me to do some running, and then we're going to have a look at some funky graphics and find out where we can incrementally, tiny bits, get better, and then we will have that packet of mini eggs that I can see on your desk.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Elite training.
And chocolate biscuits.
Chocolate biscuits, mini eggs. Okay, fine.
So the first one we're going to do, Emma, is what we call a counter movement jump.
Yep.
So it's idea go down and you push and you just try and jump up. You got it. And then now I want you to go down a little bit faster, so a little bit quicker, and then try and really explode off the bottom. So what this is telling me is like we go different stretch shortening. So obviously as you bend, you're stretching the muscles, and then you're trying to put energy into them, then you push off. So this is a slow one. Yeah. What we're trying to see now is the balance. So if you said there's definite differences between right and left.
Yeah.
You preference one side.
I think my right side is weaker than my left side.
Yeah, so straight away we're seeing a real dominance on this left side. So even on double leg movements, you're putting nearly 60% more down on this left side.
You've just worked that out?
Well, I don't work it out, the system does.
60% more.
So as you're deloading, what you're doing is, the strategy for you is to go like this and load down. I'm exaggerating, right, to illustrate the point. You're going down and loading this left side.
Okay.
That's a subconscious thing you've probably learned over time.
Yeah.
It's probably not to say this leg can't do it, this leg just wants to do it more.
Okay, right.
So when you're doing it, try and think about loading through both limbs and you're going down and up in that situation. So down and up and push. Okay. Down and up and push. Really explode off. Good job. So just an awareness of it now, we've went from 60 now at 25. Doing nothing different, right?
Okay, right.
So I've not made you any stronger, not done any different, it's just one cue.
Okay.
So it's again, make sure when you're doing these type of movements, double legs, your preference will always be to go to this left side.
Yeah.
I want you to try.
Just the knowledge. Okay.
Good. All good on that one. The cue now is to try and get off the floor. So when you hit the floor, imagine hot coals just getting off the floor.
Okay.
Yeah? Great job. Just when you get there, just finish the push.
Okay.
Finish the push. Nice, really good. So what's really interesting is, actually when we make it a bit more time consumed in terms of bringing the time frames down, the qualities go up. Still see, even now when you're landing on double legs, there's this preference for left side. So that pattern is probably something very consistent. You've just got to be mindful as you increase the intensity, the margins of difference don't keep getting bigger.
So because all of the niggles that I ever have are on my left side.
Yeah. So
typically it's taking more of the load, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
So just do a couple more, and now I really want you to get on and off the floor.
Right.
So really get off the floor. Great job. So one of the things we look for here is something called reactivity strength index. So that is how much time you spend on the floor.
Okay.
In time. Against how much flight time you get.
Okay.
So as an example, if you spent 100...
No one's ever described me off the floor as flying.
Yeah. Did I say that, Jill? I know.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Great doing business with you.
Session over, right? We're finished. So if you spent 100 on the floor and got 300 in the air, you'd have a reactivity strength index of 3. You're trying to make that number as big as you can.
As big as you can.
As big as you can, right?
Okay.
So the idea is Low time on the floor, you've got it. Absolutely fine.
Okay.
And that's a quality that you've got to, you've got to think about. It's very related to your running. So again, on and off the floor, come on. Great job. So now all I want you to do, last one, is to try and feel. So instead of landing toe first.
Toe first, yeah.
I want you to try and think about being more whole foot.
Yeah.
So when you go toe first, you tend to go heel drops, knee bends.
Waste time.
You spend time on the floor.
Yeah.
And the key thing is not spending time on the floor.
Okay. Brain in gear.
Great job. Best one yet. Really good. Really good. We don't need to do any more of them. It's great. So this is really important information for me because that tells me now that the abilities to get on and off the floor in terms of reactivities is a good quality, right? But the physical qualities need to support your ability to run.
Okay.
Right? You need to tolerate of what you do when you run.
Yeah.
And these are the physical qualities to do that.
That's so interesting. This is really amazing. We're in the laboratory. I'm surprised you're not wearing a white coat.
I left it in my car.
There's about 1 million cameras in here.
Yeah, the beauty of what we're trying to do today is tell the story of how you run.
Yes.
So this system now is a system called Motion Metrics. It's a markerless tracking system. So these two cameras at the bottom here are normal cameras, but what they've got is a depth perception mode. So what they do is create a stick figure diagram, an avoclone of you running.
Yeah.
Within 10 seconds of you finishing, we'll
have mad. That's
150 metrics of you running.
You're kidding me.
No.
That's so clever.
So literally just at 4, nice and gently. Just get used to this treadmill. I will only increase when you tell me it's okay, and we'll get going. Feeling okay?
Yeah.
Look perfect. Really good on the treadmill. Nice. Keep that position on the treadmill. Perfect on the treadmill. 15 seconds left. Keep going. Making this look easy. Great stuff. Right, I'll slow the treadmill down, just get you into a nice little walk. Everything okay? Champion. Rock star. So what the system does, it categorises you into 6 profiles.
Okay.
And what it's basically saying is this is over sort of 6,000 different people running at this speed. So it's a bit of a database of athletes across this speed, right? Based on age and stage and gender. So this gives me a typical profile, right? And then for each profile, there's traits that you on your profile. So it'll give you generic things that you're good.
And the profile that they've worked, I'm an easy strider.
Yep.
She's an easy strider.
Easy strider, yeah. So easy strider comes with certain metrics and characteristics, which we'll go into on the next one. Okay. But it gives you a weighting factor of it, right? So that's the first thing. What I will say is these profiles can change as you run faster, but also as you get tired. So you might start as an easy strider, and then you might end up being a constant glider or a quick stepper. And again, the traits change. So as you get tired, as you get faster, these profiles can change.
Is there an ideal place to be if you take somebody like me who's never run a marathon and is still a rookie? Is there an ideal profile, or mixing between the all 6 of them is where you need to be? Yeah,
good question. So the way to think about it is this area here is like more shock absorption, so this is a good thing. Okay. And then that's more speed related.
Okay.
And then this is more efficient. So basically top right quick stepper eco sprint is more efficient in speed.
Okay.
But based on also the height characteristics as well. So if you're a different height, then you sit into different profiles. So long striders tend to be your 6 foot, whatever.
Okay.
Your easy striders, constant gliders tend to be a little bit shorter. I'm not saying you're short, but slightly shorter. Right, so height does have a big effect because obviously it's based on leg length as well, so it has a big effect. So that's the first bit. The other bit here up here is basically looking at the amount of mechanical load required.
Sorry, this is top because this is the elite range, and this is me.
Hey, you're in the elite range.
I'm in the elite range.
You're in the elite range, absolutely. So blue is you, green is the model, and obviously there's difference of models, right? Different types of models. Okay. But what this is basically saying is for a meter travelling forward horizontally, what's the mechanical work measured in joules that you have to do, right?
Energy.
So energy, you've got it, right? So if you're the blue and the green, and your blue is above the green, you're working harder against gravity. Gravity is trying to push you to the floor, and you have to work against gravity.
Okay.
Right? So you're absolutely perfect on that, right in the middle, spot on, big tick. Second one is how fast you move your limbs in space. So body segments, right? So how quickly you move your limbs. So people typically talk about cadence. Smaller people tend to have more higher turnover in terms of cadence. And what that means is, absolutely, little road runners, they have smaller step lengths and then higher cadence.
Got it.
But to be really clear, there's different ways of achieving the same velocity. So when you think about sprinters, you can have someone like Usain Bolt, 2 metres 60 step length and good frequency.
Wow.
Or you can have the British guys who are maybe 2 metres 30. So every step Usain Bolt is putting 30 centimetres on you. So there's different ways of achieving the same velocity.
Good grief. Every step that he's taking, he's got 30 centimetres.
At least 30 centimetres
on
everyone. That's why he's the best in the world. What is.
That's
still
incredible.
Is. Yeah.
Stride parameters.
Stride parameters, right? So again, same sort of principle. Green is the model, blue is you.
Okay.
And what we're seeing now, and this is one of the big myths, is everyone comes in and goes, I need to be 180 cadence, 180. I have to be. So when I'm below 180, I'm not doing very good.
Okay.
Nonsense.
Okay,
rubbish.
right. Okay.
Absolute rubbish, right? You've got to work out.
So I'm on 164.
What's perfect.
Really?
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely great. Really good. 164 is absolutely fine, yeah. You've got to work out what your fingerprint is. Everyone's got a unique fingerprint, right? And you've got to work out what's your unique fingerprint in each of these metrics. And then we've got to identify what are the things that you do really well, where are the gaps, and which gaps do you go after. So I try and work on the philosophy of big rocks.
Yeah.
Sort out the big rocks and don't worry about the pebbles.
Okay.
Lots of people in endurance world spend a lot of time looking at the pebbles and don't look after the big rocks.
Okay.
Wrong way around.
Okay.
First of all, cadence, right in the mix. Then what we see here is this the amount of time you spend on the ground.
So yes, we were doing the jumping earlier.
So the jumping earlier, so your strategy is to spend a little bit longer on the ground than typically the model is telling us, right? Now, I always say this, it's not to say you can't run like that, because you just did, but there's a consequence to it.
Yeah.
The consequence is it's probably not the most efficient way, but it's efficient to you at the moment, right?
Yep.
It's more important as you get faster or run for further, how does that profile change?
Okay.
And what we typically see, if you're doing this at these speeds now, that contact time, as you get tired, will invariably get a little bit longer.
Longer, it will, yeah.
Yeah, which is typical.
Dragging your heels,
yeah,
literally.
Absolutely normal. Forward lean, which is 3 degrees, again, perfect. So your lean position is really good.
Okay.
We tend to find a lot of endurance runners come in and they feel like they want to be in this position.
Yes.
In terms of leaning forward, they feel like that gives them a bit more acceleration, a bit more velocity. It's not true.
Okay.
3 to 4 degrees is normal, typical, what we need to see. Yeah?
Yes.
So standing
I'm so
upright,
happy.
a lot of people feel that's too standing upright, but 3 to 4 degrees is absolutely fine.
I've worked hard on that, so
You've done good.
I'm really
great.
pleased about that.
Really, really good. The bit that we've got to now work out the puzzle is overstride. So what overstrides mean is how far you land in front of your body.
That's a lot.
So you are at 129.
And does that mean that I'm overstriding by 129, or that is my overstride?
That is your overstride.
Okay, fine.
Right? And this again, for me, this is the second.
That 129 is that arrow.
Yeah, it's the position of your centre of mass where the red dot is, down to the floor, and then the
Okay.
distance that is there, ankle to.
Okay.
Now, this is the other big myth that I think is misunderstood, right? Everyone, regardless of ability, overstrides. The phrase overstride is something that people take out of context. Everyone overstrides. Everyone lands in front of the body.
Yeah.
The big thing you've got to look at is how much braking force you get. The best people in the world, your elite guys, the braking force is really short period.
Oof.
Really short,
Yeah.
and then your propulsion is more. So they get more propulsion. A lot in here now, right?
Okay, this is gate. This is
proper gate.
This is proper gate.
Yeah, proper gate, yeah.
Okay.
And what we're typically looking at here is basically how your limbs are operating. So this is range of motion of your knees and your hip, and you can see symmetry. The left hip is in yellow and the right hip is in pink. And again, you can see typically slightly different depths is probably what we looked at as well.
Yes.
In terms of
Okay.
linked to what you did downstairs in the gym.
Yeah.
So we see different strategies, right side and left side. One limb wants to bend a little bit more, and one limb wants to be a bit straighter.
And that's absolutely reflected on
And
there.
it reflects in terms of your
Fine.
gait profile.
Got it.
Neutral step in terms of step width is absolutely fine. So in terms of a profile, really stable profile.
Okay. Oh, I'm so happy. I thought you were going to tell me that I was like literally running like that.
No, it's really good. The bits we've got to do for you, you've got to minimise overstride.
Yeah, okay.
That's not to say you can't run like that, you can. The mechanical consequence is it's attritional.
Yeah.
You're creating energy, right?
That's a big word.
You're creating energy.
You're going to pay.
Yeah, you're going to pay the price at the end. It's going to hurt you, right?
Yeah.
And it's not to say you're going to hurt and get injured. It's a consequence in terms of the energy required, mechanical load to follow that profile is tough. But overall, like a really solid mechanical profile. For someone who hasn't run, that's pretty good. And I'm not just saying that, it's pretty good. Very, very good.
Okay, well, I've got my hat back on. I don't feel too bad.
Good. That's a good sign.
I've learned so much in such a short space of time. I'm quite encouraged, actually. Should I be proud of myself?
You should be very proud of yourself. Absolutely. And I think the first thing to mention is the marathon is an unbelievably challenging thing to do, right?
It's really important to remember that.
That's if you're a runner.
Yeah.
So the fact you've taken it up on with not necessarily lots of background in running is remarkable. The challenge you're doing is exceptional. So huge credit to on that one.
And that goes out to everybody. Just another reminder, the marathon is hard. It's really difficult. So, and this is coming from the expert.
Yeah, I think just respect it as well. Yeah. Respect it, right? There's a lot of force, there's a lot of things that go on in the marathon in terms of training. So not necessarily just running, but off the track in terms of gym-based stuff, therapy, recovery. It's almost like a lifestyle choice to do a marathon.
Yeah,
really impacting. So huge credit to you for taking it on.
So I'm going to try and improve my overstride.
Yep.
By a couple of millimeters.
Yep. Remember we said small things make a big difference.
Yep.
So we're not talking about making wholesale changes. That's not appropriate.
Okay.
You have actually got a really good sound mechanical profile. Can you make some tweaks in some areas? 100%. But equally at the elite end of the sport, they can make some tweaks as well. So it's not just you who's isolated. So I think you've got a really solid base.
Okay.
And now for me, it's about making the adjustments in the right areas. This isn't about wholesale changes. That's not appropriate.
Yep.
You probably don't have the time, energy or resource to do that.
Correct.
So it's about just making sure you nudge the areas that need nudging in the right direction. And we identified overstride as being one characteristic. And I think we also talked about how that then affects the mechanical load that's going through your body.
Yeah. Okay. This is fascinating. I honestly can't thank you enough. It's been such a really fascinating glimpse into this brilliant world and what you do here. And, the temptation now is to kind of go, okay, I'm going to give up everything and just come and spend all my time here. But it's amazing. And I'm very grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute privilege to host you. Honestly, I wish you the best in your journey.
Thank
you.
It
will be a bit of a bumpy one, but you'll get through it. And I look forward to seeing what you're able to do at London.
We will do. And of course, there's always New York 2027, Paul, if you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll carry your bags, no problems.
Thank you very much. That was incredible. My mind is officially blown. And can I please urge you, if you are listening, to go and watch this on the Virgin Radio YouTube channel, because there is a whole host of funky visuals that will help this make much more sense. I will see you on Virgin Radio 10 till 2, Monday to Friday. And again next week for the next episode of I Can Run a Marathon. And